Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And this is the park bench.
Actually out in a park again.
And someone's drawn a cock and balls on the path behind us.
Allow me to just show you here that our normal bench has been desecrated with a well-placed but extremely well-drawn cock and balls. We're sitting this way, so I don't know quite what that says about a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about, what were we talking about that spawned this?
Oh, people were ringing us.
Yes, and I got a couple of messages asking if I could explain British phone numbers. Because I used to do those rants on Computer File about time zones and things like that, and I threatened to do one about British phone numbers, and a couple of people said I should.
And I'd say probably at least a third of the watchers of the park bench aren't from the UK, so
yes,
won't understand our number groupings in the same way that we don't understand yours.
I mean, to be fair, most of Britain doesn't understand how UK phone numbers work, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to have a long rant about this.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to insult the engineers at the post office, as it was, and then British Telecom after them, and then Ofcom after them. But then I actually did the research for this, rather than just doing an incoherent rant. I actually looked this. I have prepared notes. Sorry,
It's gone serious.
Yeah, apologies. I'm going to be doing a lot of talking here.
Well, look at you and your branded YouTube notepad. That's the same colour as your T-shirt.
Yeah, this is...
That's bright.
Okay, so we're sitting with our backs to the sun, and this is a heliograph. I could signal passing planes with this.
I have never heard that word before.
You know when someone like...
Planes? No, heliograph. What's a heliograph?
I'm sorry, that was perfect. Can I will handshake on that. You set that up perfectly. I got a word into the description, and you just well done. Yes. It's using a mirror to signal with the sun.
Oh, that thing. Cool.
Yes. I did the research. Back in the old days. So first of all, UK phone numbers are a mess. Okay? Our area codes can be 3 digits long, or 4 digits long, or 5 digits long, or 6 digits long. And the local number can have 5 digits, or 6 digits, or 7 digits, or 8 digits. This is not great.
So most people would probably assume it's a five-digit area code and then 2 3s in most circumstances.
Yeah, in most cases, certainly for all mobile phones, everything like that, 5 and then 6, which is meant to be the standard. So back in the old days. So what I'm going to do is, as I run through my notes, I'm going to actually old days. There was a famous phone number, Whitehall 1212, which was Scotland Yard's phone number. If you wanted to call the London Metropolitan Police, it was well known. To this day, the last 4 digits of their number are 1212.
Oh,
It's nice bit of tradition. And to reach that, you would actually have to pick up the phone and call and talk to an operator who would connect you to the Whitehall Exchange, and then you'd be able to get through to 1212. And then whenever, I didn't write that down.
was that number picked by a sound engineer?
1212, nice. No. But if you mean, was it picked by an engineer who was quite sound? Probably.
A sound engineer?
Yeah. Not a sound engineer, sound engineer. It's like a camp bed. Just. Then they introduced something called subscriber trunk dialing.
Wait, did they call it STD?
Yes, they called it STD. Well, they called it STD. Yes, which back then STDs were called VD, so it was fine to do this. But yeah.
So everyone wanted STDs back then.
Yeah, basically you could just call up and.
So having STD all over you was a good idea.
Having STD meant that you were. So subscriber trunk dialing meant that you dialed a 0, and that meant you are going out to the national exchange and you're going to put an exchange number in, not a local number.
Okay.
And that 0 became part of our area codes. So the first thing we dial, all British phone numbers start with a 0. Unlike a lot of countries where you just get the area code, and if you want to dial out, you just dial a 1 or something before it. Our area codes traditionally include the 0 because it's easier. And the engineers, again, I used to rant about this, but now, I think they're actually pretty clever, because it turns out they use prefix codes. So I talked about the national dialing codes where +1 means that's the end of the code. There won't be anything after that.
Yeah.
Like, we have +44 for Britain, so there will never be a +441 area code. You'll know it ends
really?
there. Yeah. +441 international code.
Because it's a prefix, so it only goes off what's at the beginning, and if there's
Yeah.
anything else after it, then...
It's got to be a local
okay,
one.
yeah.
So, so that means you can have a 1-digit, 2-digit, 3-digit, doesn't matter. They will never be ambiguous. And it turns out they did the same thing here. They gave London 01. Whole of London just gets the code 1, basically. Then 5 big cities, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Liverpool, Manchester, they gave 2 through 6. So 021, 031, 041, 051, 061. And I didn't realise this until like literally on the way here as I was looking at this, that Birmingham, B2, Edinburgh, E3. Like the old codes that were the letters that were written on the numbers, they all match up. Huh. Whoever worked that out, like someone back in history went, wait, I've got 5 cities. They all map to these. That's how we're doing it, folks. Great plan. So now we've already got London, 2 digits, and big cities, 3 digits. The rest of the country, all the towns and all the smaller cities, got 4-digit codes.
Yeah, and those numbers reflect the numbers on the keypads as well, so you can
Yes.
start typing the name of it. So I'm from York, so that used to be at 0904, so...
Yes, that's Y and O,
O.
because O was O.
I assume they ran out of
Yeah.
numbers then.
Yeah, the same way Mansfield, where I used to come from, was MA3 or something like that, 0623. And this was fine. And then the local exchanges could have 5 digits or 6 digits or 7-digit numbers, depending on how much demand there was and they thought there'd be.
Yeah.
And this was, in its sense, a pretty good system. And I realise this now, having done the research, this is a great system as long as you don't expect your dialing code or your number to be a certain number of digits. As soon as you forget that, the whole system makes sense.
Right.
So, the other thing I forgot to mention, the other reason they will have done big cities with smaller codes is because back then you had rotary dials. So you had to literally and wait for it to go back on those old...
Oh, and all the dialing codes have got the most population of...
Yep, shorter codes.
I think the American system's the same, actually.
I
think I read that.
I thought it was left to right, or right... You infected me with west to east stuff. I thought it was east to west, 01 to 09, but I might be getting that confused with zip codes. 1 to 9, but I might be getting confused
I think I read somewhere that New York's got like 023 or something like that.
We're going to get corrected there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they hit in 1990 the same problem that America hit, which is that they were running out of numbers.
Yeah.
There were codes that were getting full. And like America, they're all geographic. So America solved this by allowing the same region to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 area codes, completely unrelated to each other.
That's one way of
That's
sorting
one way
it,
of sorting it, yes. We did not do that. First problem, London's full, and they've got the number 01. So they can't really do much to that. So they split it. Inner London is now 071, outer London is now 081.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, so that's fine. And that way there's no ambiguity. If you dial 01, because it was a prefix code, you know that you haven't dialed correctly, you just disconnect the call, the number must have changed.
Okay.
This is there's some really clever stuff. I meant to rant about this. This was meant to be an angry rant. And then I just kept going, that's actually a really clever hack. Oh, I see what you did there.
Because it's funny, after we mentioned it last time, we had a chat about it and we were both complaining, but you seem to have found some things that have allayed a lot of our complaints.
Yes. And so the 90s are also, okay, so there are these weird things called mobile phones now. Yeah. So we'll set aside a different code for them. That'll be 083 something or whatever. But there won't be many of those, so it won't really be a problem. 1995 comes along, it's starting to be a problem. Do you remember the phone day in 1995?
Yes, and in fact, I saw someone post on a social network recently, someone I work with, found a BT phone card, which you would top up and use to pay with.
Oh, God,
that
yeah,
had
the
an
actual
advert
payphone card.
Yeah, had an advert for Phone Day.
Yeah.
And it's spelt phone, but with 1 in capital letters in the middle of the phone day.
Because the idea was everyone's landline across the country was going to change from 0623 as Mansfield was.
Or 0904
Yeah,
for
to
York.
01.
So 01904.
We were getting an extra digit added in there. And again, I keep looking at this and going, that's a really clever plan. Because you've suddenly multiplied by 10 the number of area codes available. All the landlines are now bumped under 01.
Oh, I suppose, and you said London was 081, so that's where Live and Kicking got 01818118181 from.
Yep, that was then. So it used to be 081, then it was 0181, yeah. That's
So does that mean going live had 081?
Yes, they did.
Live and Kicking had 0181.
Yeah, I don't think the change perfectly matched, but basically, yeah, that was.
Kids Saturday morning
Saturday
TV.
morning shows. That also meant that if everyone's landline...
Sorry, just imagine anyone ringing a TV show now.
Right, yeah.
I don't think that really happens, does it?
01 landlines. That means everyone's landline now starts 01. They've also reserved 02 for future codes. That means that 03 can be non-geographic stuff, they originally called it. So like all the things where you want a company to be able to reach
Services.
wherever. Yeah. So 03, 04, like there's some technical stuff in the other numbers. And then they mean 07 can be all the mobile phones and pages and personal numbers and things like that. All the stuff that's expensive to call because it's got a radio thing in it. America, because they stayed geographic, even their cell phones are geographic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can't, if you're in America, you can't tell if a number's a mobile or a landline.
Which is why you pay for incoming calls on mobiles in America. Or they get
What?
deducted from... Yeah.
Oh, no, I've seen that on text.
Yeah.
I had a SIM card. I thought that was bloody stupid because you have no idea if someone's going to ring you or why they're ringing you, and it's not your fault. So if it's not your fault, you shouldn't pay for it.
Yes. Britain, caller pays, always, and pays a different fee depending on what you're calling. But
because you're the one instigating it,
but
it's
if
your
it's
fault.
a geographic number, the caller has no idea whether they're ringing a landline or a mobile. So they
Does
can't
that
be
mean
expected
it doesn't
to...
know how to charge them as well?
Yeah, it's just, oh right, that's how many minutes they've been on a phone and had the connection open. So they have to have caller pays. Right,
That's messy.
Yes, it is. Then they kept 08 for like special rate numbers, everything from free phone up to national. That's a whole confusing mess I won't get into, but like 08 is that. 09, premium rate numbers, you're paying a huge amount. But like this again.
Special services.
Yes. Like calling into TV channels that will just...
You know how we just said people don't call into TV channels anymore?
Yeah.
I wonder if people still do call into those TV channels.
Probably. So this will be a great solution, except there are also small cities running out of numbers. So there were some cities where they went, okay, you guys, like Nottingham, near me, are not just going to... You're not going to go 0602 to 01602.
Oh, is this why you've got 0113 for Leeds and 0114 for Bristol already?
And 0115 for Nottingham. Except they changed it to a 4-digit code, and then, because they needed more numbers in that area, they said we're going to extend all the local numbers and put a 9 before them all. So it's all going to be 0115 for Nottingham and then 9 or 2 in some other regions or something like that. The idea was, fine, you're not going to 5 digits, you're not going to do that, you're going to go to 4, you're going to stay on 4 digits and we're going to extend that bit instead. Unlike the rest of the country, it's no one, very, very few people actually understood that. Even now, literally 22 years later, you will still see signs up in Nottingham that proclaim the area code to be 01159, 5 digits. Because everywhere else in the country's got 5 digits, so of course they do as well.
It's the same in London, isn't it?
Yeah. And like, you can see what they were doing, because they were like, cool, Nottingham, you're going to get to be like London. You're going to have a 4-digit code start like 0181. It's going to be like that. It's going to be 0115. You're a big city. You get to be like London and Manchester, and oh God, you've screwed it up.
But then London is 020.
Yeah, that came later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then London ran out of numbers again. So they just decided we're going to start some 02 codes now. And you know how we've already changed your area code twice, London? Well, we're doing it again.
But they've kept the original, the 8.
Yeah, so now they
7.
dropped London down from a 4-digit code to a 3-digit code again, 020. Moved the 7 and the 8 to the start of there. So now you've got 8-digit numbers. So that's no good because now London thinks it's 0207 and 0208.
The London area code is 020 and then 4 digits, then 4 digits.
Yeah.
Rather than 0208 or 0207. That's not part of the area.
No, and now it's even messier because they've done that to a few other cities. They've done that to Cardiff. And they've gone, you haven't got a 5-digit number, a 5-digit code anymore. You're going to get to be like London.
023 on there.
Yeah, you've got a 3-digit code. No one. Literally, like, you still see 023, whatever it is, 5 digits as the area code in Cardiff.
And basically, if you're a person trying to write down or read out a British phone number, unless you know all of these things, you don't know how to group it properly.
Yeah.
Which means if you're someone like us who basically does know most of them, and you're trying to understand what they're telling you, it's really hard to understand what they're telling you if they say 02087. Like, well, start again and group it properly, otherwise I can't understand what you're telling me.
Okay, so this was going to be an angry rant because that feels like this was going to be a rant about how you plan way ahead for the future for systems like this. And you have to try, like, what would have been useful is one massively everyone changes thing.
But
in no, stop take thatting me. Admittedly, I was going to say in the 90s, so that's fair. That was everything changed was take that, wasn't it? Okay, like that would have been good. They couldn't do that, but every bit of this going on is clever. I may not think it's the right thing to do, but every single thing is clever.
In each step, they have planned for the future.
Yeah, because
they just haven't planned for the amount of expansion in the future.
Yeah, because like London now has 0203 numbers. The reason they picked 3 as the extra 1, that's in the 8 digits, not in the area code. The reason they did that is because there was never an old 0203 code. So years ago, back when that was the normal 4 digits, they know. Hello
dog.
There's a dog there.
Bye dog.
Like they knew it was going to be ambiguous. So stuff from literally 25 years ago, you wouldn't dial a number that was on a thing from 25 years ago and get the wrong number in London. There's a load of really clever stuff in
so
here.
you can't back convert it and think it's somewhere else.
Yes.
Oh, that's clever.
So all this makes sense. All this makes perfect sense if you accept that British area codes and numbers do not have a fixed length, never will. The area code might be 3, 4, 5, or 6. The number of digits in the final in the local area might be 5, 6, 7, or 8. It might be anything. Just dial the whole thing because everyone does that with cell phones now anyway. Because no one dials a goddamn number. They just punch a button in their phone and it does the dialing for them.
Oh yeah, you can't dial just the local number. You don't get charged any different. Type the whole thing in.
Yep. There you go. That's the phone number rant. What do you want to rant about? Don't answer that. It's going to be me.